Today I'm going to be walking you through what all I've had to figure out in the last 2 days to go from this to this. Since 2020, specifically the pandemic, I've wanted to make games. I thought I had such an active imagination, so why not? But then came the twist. Actually sitting down and making it was very different from all the game development advice channels like Blackthorn Prod, Thomas Brush, Game Dev Unlocked, DevDuck, and so on. You get the idea. Don't get me wrong, they were the reason I dare to dream, but dreaming isn't the same as doing. So when I was just starting up, Unity interface baffled me. I didn't even know how plugins worked. I was very inexperienced. Unity was one thing, the real gotcha moment was definitely Blender. After 2 days of work, this is what I managed to make. Yeah, that. I went on Udemy to try making a whole ass castle after that, but halfway through, my computer crashed and I lost all the progress I made and my will to learn Blender as well. I still wanted to make games though, so I searched everywhere if I could find a partner. I was lacking motivation and, most importantly, art. I searched Discord, Reddit, and wherever else I could. In the end, I couldn't find anyone. So my dream just dulled out in the background. But looking into game development again in 2026 was eye-opening to me. Picking up game development now has been easier than ever, and the biggest gatekeepers have finally met their match. AI. Coding, art, animation, there's a solution to all of them now. I know that there are many people like me who have wanted to get into game development but don't know how to get their foot in the door. That's why I'm making this video. To show you how to get started, at least the way I have. This took me hundreds of asking, especially Gemini, since I've seen many people saying that Gemini works best for creative work, and I've heard that image generation is free, easier and faster than ever. But I want to be straight with you. This is gonna be a game where I take my ideas as a highlight, as that's the only thing I'm very good at. All of the ideas for the game will be my own, and AI will only come into play with how to execute it. So no, I will not be pumping out AI slop. AI is only to help me execute my ideas. With that out of the way, I think it's about time I tell you the premise of my small game. It's about a reindeer who has to find Santa's workshop, as Christmas is approaching and Santa needs his reindeer. Along the way, you pick up gifts, gems, coins for Santa, and in the end, you end up meeting Santa and you get ready to fly off into the distance where the game ends. So far, this is what I've come up with. Next up is to choose what tools I'll be using, and it's going to be divided into 3 segments. First is going to be what game engine I'll be using. Second is going to be what AI tools I'll be using, since the name of the title is AI tools. Third, what assets I'll be using. So starting with the game engine, I wasn't really struggling with which game engine to choose, because for some reason I always thought Unity was the way to go, and I did dabble with Unity back in 2020. But then back then I had an unrealistic dream of making a really cool 3D game, and now when I thought I should get into game development again, I started with Unity because it was more familiar, as you can see. But when I saw this new YouTuber named Juniper Dev, that's when I thought of exploring other options. So what are my other options? There's Unreal, there's Godot, and there's GameMaker. Since I'm making a 2D game, Unreal was clearly out. Then there was Godot and GameMaker. Game Maker seemed more simpler, and it was becoming more apparent that the scope of my work and the work I can accomplish made Game Maker the most ideal choice. Now, for the tools. Mainly Gemini. Gemini is good with coding and it helps with sprites and image generation. It also helps me with art through image generation. I will also be looking into other AI like Claude AI. I've heard really good things about it. But yeah, that's about it. Now, next for the assets. I will be using assets from itch.io, especially these for now. And any other assets I may need, I'll customize around the art style I have on these assets. And as for the sound, we'll be using various online royalty-free music or sound effects. And now, to walk you through my progress so far. I started with a floor, then I made a player object, then I made sure to give the player character its physics. I figured before I work on the game mechanics, like how it's usually done, I'd give him animation and movements, because I wouldn't feel motivated without making visible progress. That's just how I am. After I was done giving him his animation and movements, I decided to use the sprites from Gemini to make all these collectible items. And hardest hurdle yet, the enemies. I named him Snowy, so I'll just be calling him that. I got him from Itch. This piece of work. He has been a pain. I still need to work on him. Not just him shooting the Christmas balls. These two things have been eating my brain all day. But yeah, this is what I've been working on so far. I will be updating you on any further developments. And let me know if you want me to show you what I do in more detail. That being said, I am nervous, but I hope to see you on my next video. Take care, guys.